Today I'm going to be sharing with you a drill that you can do using a homemade training aid, which I think you can all create. But before we go through the drill, we have to understand a little bit about this trail arm, because the drill is actually focusing on that trail arm, and if you want to improve, looking at what this arm does is super important. So we have 2 points of rotation in the arm. Understanding those and what we need to do within the golf swing is key. So if I just let my arm hang naturally, and I'm going to turn it so it faces the camera. And when I say turn it, I mean the palm and the inside of my elbow. So both of those face the camera. Now, if I wanted my palm to face the flag, I would need to rotate my arm this way. That kind of makes sense. And if we get someone to do it, they kind of go, yep, there you go, done it, it's fine. But there's actually a lot more detail to that. Look at this. If I put my hand here, I hold the inside of my arm. This part here is not going to move at all. Can I turn my palm to face the target? Yes, easy. That is the lower part of my arm rotating. If I took my hand off, what about now if I focused on the inside of my arm here and I got that to point at the target? Well, now you can see that that has had the effect of pointing my face at the target, or my palm I should say. But that was done through the shoulder. So in my trail arm, I have shoulder rotations and I have lower arm rotations. So important to understand. So let's go into a delivery position, and this will explain, we'll soon see why what we just did is so important. We go up to the top, we come down to our delivery, and we are perfect. Let me take the golf club away and my glove hand away. Where are we with our trail hand? Well, guess what? We're back to that exact position that we just demonstrated. Palm is facing you, inside of the elbow is facing you. If my right palm matches the club face, which it does, if I want to hit my ball straight, the palm's got to face that way. How we do it? That's the big deal. That's how we get those quality strikes. So let's bring in our training aid. This is a sweatband, just something you can pick up really cheap. I had this lying around the house. This is a driving range tee. You can see the kind of bottom there. If you ever use driving range mats, these are what gets popped through the hole. I've got this tee on the inside of my elbow. So let's go through what we're going to do. I want you to take a setup, and at setup, I like that tee to feel like it's pointing sort of away from it setup. I don't like it to be pointing down towards the targets. That's our first thing. But let's get into our delivery position. Okay, palm at the camera, tee at the camera. What so many of you will do, to square that club face, to have that club pointing at your target, you will use your shoulder rotations. Watch what happens when I do that. Club face points back at target, palm faces back at target, tee points at target, but look where my elbow went, away from me. Horrible position. Handle is always going to be back, it's scoopy, flippy, no power, not good at all. Let me get into that same delivery position and show you what a great player would do. They would use the more of the lower part of the arm. So the club face and my palm are rotating, but look at the difference. Where's that tee pointing? Still pretty much out in front of me, but I've got so much more shaft lean. I've got more pressure that I can put onto the golf club with my trail hand. My knuckle, my index finger on the back of the club shaft, I can squeeze the ball out from there. I can compress it. I can deal off the club. I can hit higher up the face. Just all of those things that are going to help you basically hit the shots better and probably have more fun, because it's going to feel a lot better off the club face. So there's a big, big difference between a golfer who can get into a delivery position and release it this way. I mean, that's just horrible. I mean, I hit the ground here and it was horrible and just terrible. And the golfer who releases the club in that way. So different. Compression, more at the centre, landed the club in the right place, and it was all to do with just the last little bit of the golf swing and understanding this right arm. So how are you actually going to practice, and how are you going to use this drill to get better? Well, just basically do what I've done there. I would be starting off without the ball and just feeling that we get this delivery position, and then trying to get the club to land roughly where the ball is, but keeping this pointing pretty much away from you. It doesn't have to be direct. You'll see when I do this, there will be a little bit of turn, but I'm using the lower part of my arms, and I can get the golf club to land on the ground. I can have the handle forwards, and this points away from me. You'll also notice that there's a little bit of bend in the arm. That's really important. It will straighten, but probably just post impact. And just start off by just feeling what that's like. turning the face down, but keeping the elbow in this really strong position. And then just do that with the ball. Just let the ball get in the way. Notice how I'm still able to squeeze and keep my elbows really close. If you do this incorrectly, because of the nature of this movement, it's going to be almost impossible for you to keep those elbows close. So if this looks like you around impact or post impact, it's the trail arm. It's almost always the trail arm. Yes, there's other things in there as well, but if we can get the trail arm moving better, trust me, you're going to start to elevate your ball strike and elevate your game. So hit some shots, start to build it up, start to work it into your practice. I've done a couple of rehearsals, I've got the right feelings. I'm going to start with my elbow pointing away and then returning it to there. Now, obviously at that speed, I don't really know how well I did, can't see. So that's when just grabbing a phone, getting your playing partners or friends just to video you in slow motion with this little device on and just seeing what it's doing through impact. We're not looking to keep this pointing at that camera throughout. We're just looking to avoid this movement. And you'll start to see with this little device whether your rotation of the face is coming from your shoulder, which is incorrect, or whether it's coming from the forearm. If it's coming from the shoulder, change it. If it's coming from the forearm, keep doing it. So let's see if we can finish with one more. Not my best swing. First one was definitely better than that. Right, get that right arm moving. Trust me, you're going to thank me. You're going to hit so much better golf shots with a homemade device like this one.